Okay, but you've made the claim that 931 does say that Jesus is God,
Not
right?
just my claim. It's a claim of others,
That's
scholars
fine.
of the
But
Quran, who are not biased Muslims like you, who don't go by what
that's fine.
the latter vowel markings that you added, the tashkil. But get to the point.
Okay, that's a different. Okay, that's fine. So
It's not a
can I
different.
just establish the? Can I establish the premise of the argument then?
No, you get to the point, bring your objection. You came here to try to show to me that chapter 9, verse 31 conclusively proves that Jesus is not someone you take as Lord with Allah, but that he is one of the Lords that Allah condemns for you to take. Prove it.
Uh,
Get to the point.
I want to finish speaking first because I wasn't done and you
I'm
interrupted me.
not your
So
dimmy. You challenge me. Can you get to your argument? See, this is what you guys do. Get to the argument. Give me the argument.
okay, the premise of my argument is that chapter 9, verse 31 does not say that Jesus is God based on the internal critique of the text we have
Oh, so
today.
hold on. Let me repeat what you just said. So
That's fine. Go ahead.
you're not going to dissect the verse. What you're going to do is you're going to assume the Quran is consistent with itself and go elsewhere to refute my claim. But what was my argument? Let's see if you know. What was the argument?
Let me repeat myself, Sam.
No, I heard
I'm
what
saying
you said. Critique.
okay,
What was my argument?
your argument is that chapter 9, 31, the Quran that we have today states that Jesus is God. That's your claim.
No. Let me correct your stupidity, because I know trying to be
Please.
only like your prophet is part of your sin. No.
That's fine.
My claim is that if you go with the Arabic consonantal text before you added the vowel markings, the author of the Quran made a blunder because he grouped Messiah with Allah as the Lord that you take in that verse. I don't believe the Quran is consistent. It's full of contradictions. To quote another verse, only bearing the Quran. Can you now get to the verse?
That's fine. Okay, so let me ask you a different question. Do you believe that the verse, as if in today, the Quran that we have today, says that Jesus is God in Quran verse 9, number 31?
With the vowel markings that you added, you corrupted the meaning.
Yes.
So now let me ask you a question instead of manifesting. Do you believe the original Quran that was a consonantal text that had no vowel markings, that the way it was written, it is Allah and Messiah that are grouped together without what you guys added later, the consonantal text?
Again, that is a different premise, and it excludes the internal critique of the text. That's an
I'm going to send you to Mecca to lick the black stone. Let me repeat my question.
That's fine, sir. That's fine.
Do you believe the original consonantal text of your Quran that didn't have the vowel markings that you pagans added to change the meaning?
That's fine. That's
the
fine.
original consonantal text, the way the author of the Quran worded it, Messiah and Allah are grouped together, because I'm going to now quote a scholar that says, yes, the consonantal text, it's Allah and the Messiah. So do you accept that premise?
I can't accept or deny that premise as of now, but what I can do
as of now?
is...
I didn't ask you about the tashkil now.
Can I finish? Sam, can you have a dialogue? Or
no, I'm not. I don't care about you pagans. I'm here to destroy your religion by the power of Jesus, God and judge. I don't care about your tashkil now. You're going to try to refute me by my argument was. So repeat my argument. What was my argument? Because I have my article right here. What was my argument?
What you're saying now is based on an external critique that you're saying that over time the Quran has been changed. That's literally what you're saying now.
I'm basing it on the Arabic Quran that was originally composed by your fake prophet.
Right. So you're externally critiquing the text.
Hey guys, should I get this guy the hell out of here? Because he's a clown like his prophet. Here's my argument. Here it is. And yet in the very next verse, the Quran seems to imply that Christians and Jews err in considering monks and rabbis as lords instead of God and Christ. It's from my article. Abdul Jabir, Critique of Christian Origins, a parallel English-Arabic text, edited, translated, and annotated by Gabriel Said Reynolds and Samir Khalil Samir. Pages Roman numeral 21 to 22, bold if this is mine. Now, they have a note. This was my argument. The pagan supposedly came to refute my argument, but he couldn't because he's like Muhammad. Here's their note. Note, however, that the text is vocalized today with Christ in the accusative, so that Christ is grouped with monks and rabbis in this verse. You understand what the Muslims did? The original Quran had no vowel markings. When the Arabic Quran was composed, it did not have vowel markings. It was added later. That means the actual Arabic of 931 says, the only one you take as Lord is Allah and Messiah. Here's my article. And I quoted two scholars of Islam, committed Christians, whose mother tongue is Arabic. I'm quoting them. They have taken their rabbis and their monks as lords besides Allah and the Messiah, son of Maryam. This is the translation given by a Muslim And the translation is called literal word for word. Here it is. And not they were commanded except that they worship one God. There is no God except him. Glory be to him for what they associate with him. Now, where did I get this translation? They have taken their rabbis and their monks as lords besides who? Besides Allah and the Messiah. What they did was they added vowel markings to then make Messiah not joined with Allah, but they added vowel markings where Messiah is now joined with the rabbis and monks whom they took as lords. But the Arabic text doesn't say that. Here, let me show it to you. This is what the Arabic text looks like without the marks. And here are other translations, by the way. Here, Palmer. They take their doctors and their monks for lords rather than God and the Messiah, son of Mary. They take their priests and their monks for lords besides God and Christ, the son of Mary. Now, why do they translate it this way? Because I'm going to show you the word order. They took their scholars and priests to be lords besides God and the Messiah, son of Mary. Let me show you what the Arabic text would look like in transliteration without the vowel markings. Here it is. Let me show it to you. Min dun Allah wa al-Masih ibn Maryam. Now let me put that W capital I, right? That's the wa, that means and. Besides, min dun, besides Allah, wa al-Masih ibn Maryam. Literally, the consonantal text is that they took their rabbis and monks as lords. Min dun, besides, in place of Allah, wa, and Messiah, son of Mary. Now, in other words, the author of the Quran was so stupid that he wrote the verse in such a haphazard, chaotic manner, he ended up making Jesus Lord with Allah, humiliating himself, which is why the Muslims had to come and bail him out, because they speak better Arabic than their God and Prophet. As one can see, there is no short fatha or fatah at the end of the words, al-Masih bin or Maryam, which means that the original Arabic text did indeed conjoin Jesus along with Allah. This is why the scholars, the Arabic-speaking Christian scholars, both of whom are Catholic, I know one of them is Catholic, definitely, look what they write, so you don't think it's me. They're scholars of Islam. They're actually professors. They hold symposiums. Gabriel Said Reynolds, he has his own channel. Look what he says with his co-author. It's in the book. And yet, in the very next verse, chapter 9, verse 31, the Quran seems to imply that Christians and Jews make a mistake in considering monks and rabbis as lords instead of God and Christ. So what are they saying? The Quran is a confused, contradictory book. It tells you Jesus is not the Son of God. He's only a servant. But here it says that Allah and Messiah are the Lord that you should take. No one else.